Why can't you remember being a baby? Have you ever looked at an old photograph of yourself as a baby and wondered, why can't I remember any of this? There you are celebrating your first birthday, taking your first steps, or smiling in someone's arms. Your parents remember those moments. Your grandparents may remember them. There might even be home videos showing exactly what happened. Yet the one person who actually lived through those experiences remembers almost nothing. Why? Did your brain erase those memories? Were they never stored? Or is there another explanation? The answer is surprisingly fascinating, and it begins with understanding that memory is far more complex than simply recording events. When a baby is born, the brain is already an incredibly sophisticated organ, but it is still under construction. During the first few years of life, it develops faster than at almost any other stage of human life. Every second, the brain is building new neural connections as it learns how the world works. Everything is new. A baby's first smile, the sound of a parent's voice, the feeling of warm sunlight, the smell of food, the touch of a blanket, the face of a family member. Even something as ordinary as seeing a dog or hearing music for the first time is helping the brain understand its environment. Scientists estimate that babies learn an astonishing amount during these early years. They are discovering patterns, recognizing familiar people, understanding emotions, learning language, and developing movement all at the same time. This is one reason babies seem to learn so quickly. But learning and remembering are not exactly the same thing. Many people imagine memory as if the brain were a video camera, recording every event and storing it away forever. In reality, memories are created through several different processes. The brain has to pay attention to an experience, organize the information, store it, and later, retrieve it. If any part of that process is still developing, long-lasting personal memories become much harder to form. One important area involved in creating long-term autobiographical memories is the hippocampus. Although it is present at birth, it continues to mature throughout early childhood. This is one reason why babies are excellent learners, but generally cannot form the detailed, lifelong memories that older children and adults can. Psychologists call this infantile amnesia. Despite its name, it is completely normal and happens to nearly everyone. Most adults remember very little from before the age of 3. Some people have a few scattered memories from around age 3, while memories usually become clearer and more consistent between the ages of 4 and 7. Another important piece of the puzzle is language. Think about how you remember your own experiences today. You probably remember events as stories. I went to the park. It was raining. I was excited. My friends were there. Language helps organize experiences into a sequence that your brain can store and retrieve later. Babies experience emotions just as strongly as adults, but before they have language, they cannot organize those experiences into personal stories in the same way. As children learn words and begin talking about their experiences with parents and family members, those memories become easier to strengthen and recall later in life. This is one reason why asking children about their day or encouraging them to tell stories may help reinforce memories. Another fascinating reason early memories disappear is that the brain is constantly reorganizing itself. During childhood, billions of neural connections are strengthened, adjusted, or removed depending on how often they are used. You can think of it like organizing a massive library. Imagine placing millions of books on shelves without any order. Over time, the librarian sorts them into categories, removes duplicates, and arranges everything so information can be found much more efficiently. Your brain does something similar. This process makes learning faster and more efficient, but it may also make many early memories difficult or impossible to retrieve years later. However, just because you can't consciously remember your earliest years, doesn't mean those experiences disappeared. Human memory comes in different forms. The type most people think about is called explicit memory. This allows you to consciously remember birthdays, vacations, conversations, and special events. But there is also implicit memory. Implicit memory works quietly in the background. It helps you learn skills, recognize familiar faces, understand routines, and develop emotional responses without requiring you to consciously remember when or how those things were learned. For example, a baby quickly learns that a parent's voice brings comfort, A familiar bedtime routine creates a sense of security. Smiles encourage more smiles. Repeated experiences gradually shape emotional development, even if those individual moments are never remembered later. Those early experiences become part of who you are, rather than memories you can replay. People sometimes ask another interesting question. If I can't remember being a baby, why do certain smells or songs feel familiar? Our brains often connect emotions with experiences long before we can describe them with words. A particular lullaby, a family recipe, or even a familiar scent may trigger feelings of comfort without producing a clear memory. The emotional connection remains even when the actual event has been forgotten. You may also hear someone claim they remember being 1-year-old or even younger. Could that happen? Possibly, although it is uncommon. Researchers have learned that memory is reconstructive. Instead of replaying a perfect recording, the brain rebuilds memories using many different pieces of information: family stories, old photographs, home videos, things we've heard repeatedly over the years. These can all become mixed together, making people sincerely believe they remember something from infancy when they may actually be remembering the story of the event rather than the event itself. This doesn't mean anyone is being dishonest. It simply demonstrates that human memory is more like assembling a puzzle than pressing the play button on a video. Interestingly, forgetting may actually serve an important purpose. Imagine remembering every diaper change, every bottle, every nap, every cry, and every tiny detail from every day of your life. Your mind would be overwhelmed with information that serves very little purpose today. Instead, the brain appears to prioritize what is most useful: the skills you learned, the language you acquired, the emotional connections you formed, the ability to recognize loved ones, the knowledge needed to understand the world. Those lessons remain, even when the individual moments that taught them have faded. In many ways, your earliest years are like the foundation of a house. Once the house is built, you rarely see the foundation. But without it, nothing else could stand. Your first years built the foundation for everything that came later. You learned to trust, to communicate, to recognize faces, to understand emotions, to walk, to solve problems, to explore. Even though you cannot consciously remember those first chapters of your life, they helped shape the person you are today. So the next time you see an old baby photograph, don't think of it as a memory you've lost. Think of it as a reminder of an extraordinary period when your brain was quietly building the abilities, relationships, and experiences that would stay with you for the rest of your life. The memories may be out of reach, but their influence is still with you every single day. Before we finish, a quick note. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not medical or psychological advice. If you have concerns about memory, child development, or any health-related issue, please consult a qualified healthcare professional. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your family and friends. It really helps support the channel and allows us to create more videos exploring the fascinating questions about the human mind and everyday life. And now, we'd love to hear from you. What is the earliest memory you can clearly remember? Was it your 3rd birthday? Your first day of school, or something completely unexpected? Leave your answer in the comments below. Your story might be more interesting than you think. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.